Hello, welcome to another episode of Z3 RPG development. This is going to be Z3 RPG version 0.15.2. I know I kind of seem to have skipped part of a version, but the thing is I did some development without recording anything, so that's why. It went from 15.0 to 15.2. 0.15.2 that is. Just remember that because of some of the rearrangements I did with the switches and variables, that old save games, and I also rearranged the maps too, the map IDs. Old save games will not work with these versions. So let's go over the changes real quick. Here we go. This is basically the change list. So I did some fixes because of the variable switches and map switches, map changes, map ID changes. I had to fix some cell doors in the castle, which are over here. So you can see there's a world map missing, and I'll go over that in a minute. Yeah, these doors are scripted to switch. I mean, it's not like that though. This door is the control. As you can see, it switches to yeah, these are set to change through scripts. This is the map ID, which is the current map, which is not the right map ID. And then it's the event number and the self switch, then whether it's on or off. Oh, this is the right one. This is 11 right here. I was looking over here at the coordinates, which is 813. I was like, this is map 8? No, wait, this can't be. Map 11, which means this is right. This is map 11 here. So I had to change that. Had to go and change this over here, I believe. Yeah, right here. Change the map ID there. And then in the house I did the same thing with this guy because he's the control for the whole thing. Change this here and this here because it changes the direction of this door down here and sets not this door. Wrong map. Map 9 is the capital city. That'd be the door. So make sure it opens and then the door closes. This is the movement for the door closing. Yeah, so anyway, fix the world map achievement. It kept going off after 8 steps because the variables were changed, or the region variable IDs were changed. All the variable IDs have been changed, most of them. So it was on the wrong variable. Fix some plugin parameter errors for the encyclopedia. It was throwing errors because something to do with the JSON was not set up right. There was some error in that, so I just went through and fixed all that because it was under the custom entries in here, right? Yeah, Custom categories. Nope, custom entries. There we go. Yeah, these custom info and the custom headers were all messed up. Although it didn't look like it was, but I was saying it was. Well, invalid characters and stuff like that, it could not be read. So I just went through and redid them. Updated the credits for the new plugins and old plugins that have been removed since the last time the credits were updated. Optimized some events, which just means I changed them to work a little bit better. Changed things on the start map. Basically how this event is triggered. Don't remember exactly what I did. Oh yeah, instead of descripting it, I just used this switch, which was already being used. So instead of scripting the self switch being switched, I changed it to player activated. Yes, not setup done. Welcome part 1 rather. It would be using this one, the player activated. So when the player gets activated, switches over here. No, that's setup done. Did I just change that? So that's the one. I don't know why I saw player activated. That was weird. Maybe I was looking over here when I saw it. So when setup's done, it will then change over to here and run this forever. But only when the player touches it, which means this. Yeah, that's fine. Because when you enter the world map, I guess you can set, I guess the time's okay to be set before you enter the world map, because this goes to your tent, actually, not the world map. There's going to be no more world map. There are going to be separate islands for each section, for each country you go to, or each region. This is one of them that I made. This is just Betonia, which was an island to begin with. This is basically been copied from the world map right here. I did Florana. I cut this piece off and I used this whole entire thing for a map, which it should be right there. Yep. So I don't know why Betonia is not underworld, but yeah. I am going to hold on to this map, but it's not an accurate representation of the world anymore because there's a huge area missing here. This is all about deep sea. This is going to be another island. This is going to be a final island. So you go basically from Betonia to Florana to whatever this is going to be called. Actually, I think I'm just going to use this piece and this piece will be separate. Maybe. I don't know. But this is definitely a separate piece. We're going here, and then this will be the second to last place you go. This will be the final area. After you go back here into the castle and use the red portal to get up to here. But these are all going to be on separate maps. No longer on the same map. It's just easier for me to work with them if they're on individual maps than trying to work with a whole map at once. Especially when I'm dealing with regions and stuff. Here. I kept the regions for this map, which are not labeled to the final regions except for this area here, and this one's missing regions, but that's okay. Yeah. It's actually not missing regions. Yeah, it's missing the grass region, which was region 8. I'm just going to pop that back in there so I don't get confused in the future. Draw the regions back in. Yeah. Even though this world map's not actually going to be shown anymore. So right now I've done that. I've separated these two maps. I've separated these two regions from the world map, which I've got to separate 4 more. But that's a different story. Also change the name of strange item to just object, a strange object 1 and 2 to just object. And it's these right here. To have emblem things. She used to craft an emblem. Change my start map a little bit. If you look, there's some clouds, some space back here. I got rid of some of the land, which I might actually revert that to. Yeah, this is a layer view. These are layers. This is just whatever layer the game feels like putting it on. Layer 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I did was I put as the parallax showing because the layer 1's hidden or faded out. The clouds. I am going to revert this. So that's done. Basically the idea is to be on some sort of a land but not be able to access it all because the clouds are in the way. Some kind of heavenly quote-unquote place, I guess. I don't remember exactly what the original intention was, but I kept it. So change the world map name to world, as you can see here. Changed all the transfer events for places Batonia to I basically had to change the transfer events from the world map, transferring to the world map to Batonia map. So all these transfer events that were associated with these towns and stuff in Batonia got changed from the world map to the Batonia map. This has been combined. This used to be 2 maps. It is now 1. The upper and the first and second floor of the upper class house. I still got the rooms as individual maps, which I intend to leave them that way. Also changed this here. Got rid of it from the world map. So Batonia and Florana are connected through this ship. So you get on the ship, you go to Batonia. Get on the Batonia ship, you go to Florana. The ship's right here, but as of now you cannot access it. Currently you cannot access it, I should say, not as of now, that's been as of the beginning. And I created a new Goblin placeholder map, which basically means Goblin Cave now actually has a map, which gives me all the maps for the Goblin Cave, but this will never be used. It's just there for my reference. But the Goblin Cave is kind of a folder map to hold the actual three game maps that are being used. So yeah. So that's what I did in 0.15.1 basically. So I'm gonna update all the versions and stuff like that, make sure that the changes are recorded in here in the patch notes. So plugin manager, patch notes, and they are not recorded, but they're about to be. This was done on March 3rd, which is 3 days ago. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just going to fix the text so it's not going off screen. Now, the spacing and positioning is set. I think I gotta change the icon, which hasn't been changed in a while. I gotta change these to the right icon. 64. That should be 164. Yeah, I gotta fix these icons. And that should be 164 as well. And this should be 165. Basically, I changed the color of the bullet points. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Yeah, and I also added the credits in. These things, I changed this around a little bit. It's opening screens. So these are the icons I was talking about. This is like 163, I think. 64 and 165. Pretty sure that's what it is. Could be wrong. It's something like that. Could be a different order, different numbers. And I have trouble remembering things like that. Yeah, so that's 165, which is the blue or green. 163 is red, and 164 is either the other one, the one that's not blue or green. Yeah, I think these are blue and these are green. Regardless, I can't keep track of that very easily. So, yeah, I'm going to actually, I was going to do something else with a cave, I think. I don't remember exactly what it was. Certainly was not this. Oh, I do now. Good. Yeah, I'm going to put these events into one event. That's just going to refer to these two coordinates. So I'm going to create a new event, call it transfers. Okay, I'm going to create some conditions. First I'm going to create some coordinates, which should be y38. Okay, don't want that. I don't know why I even clicked on that. So I want new conditional branch if variable player x, which just stores the x position of the player, Actually, I'm going to player Y, I should say. Stores the Y position of the player. If that's 38. Okay. No, because we want that here. And then we want if the player is facing down, so that only if you're facing down this will work. Character player is facing down, so if you're facing up, it won't teleport you, transfer you. And then I want to make 2 more for X, player X, and I don't remember what those coordinates were. All right, 24 on that one. And then I'm going to make the other condition right here. Player X. And that's going to be 66. Okay. Then I'm just going to copy these. So I don't have to worry about the coordinates and where they're going and stuff. And that's going to be on the X24. Right here, and the other one is going to be the X coordinate of 66. Yeah. Now if you step here, it'll transfer you to here, which this guy will be out of the way. That's Gerald. And then the other one is when you step here, it's going to transfer you back over here to this exit spot. Okay, so with that, I am going to get rid of this transfer event and this transfer event. Just going to cut and paste this so it goes up at the top instead of at the bottom. Here we go. Save this. And I'm going to test this real quick. I gotta get rid of those chests because I don't need those anymore. Those are for testing purposes to test the emblem and the object names and stuff. I'm using that debug control key to walk through things again. So this is not where I want to be. I always did that last time I tried to test this. What I want to be is actually, so I was close. I want to actually be right here. Good. And bad. Okay. Let's test the other one. I think my Y coordinate might be Alright, I don't know why I did that, but there we go. Go to here. Check down to here. Yeah, I think I have the wrong Y coordinate on there. Alright, let's see. Must be 38. Y is 38. 24 and 66. 24 and 66. Player is facing down. Yeah, this is why, because I got this triggered by the action button instead of running in parallel. Forgot to change that. There we go. Yeah, it won't work right that way. Alright, let's try this one more time. Go through this. Hold on the control key, the left control key. It only works in playtest, it does not work in actual game. Alright, actually I need to go like this. Again, I did not want to do that. There we go. Good. Okay, great. That works. And don't matter whether you hit the control key or not, it still works. If I'm correct, I can walk over here to this map. See, they're connected. Just walk down here. Wait for him to go by. There we go. The thing is I can't get back in that way, but that's alright. It works. So. That all works. Good. So that's pieces done. Now what I might do is just, well, I don't have really much time left now, but so I'm going to actually end this a couple of minutes early. So yeah, maybe not. See what else I need to do first. Okay, good. Oh yes, I also finished up the cave here and the events on the last version, which I didn't mark down. Basically you can technically go up here if you go to Florana, which you can't do that, but when you eventually can, it should be all set to walk into the main tower, go down over here, go through the cave, and then up here, which will be in the other section, the other region. Sorry, my fiance is being very loud right now, but it's okay because I'm going to end this soon. Where's the world map? There is. Yeah, that'll bring you up here, which this will be a separate island. This whole thing. Yeah, I may or may not make this a separate region as well. So it'll be like, these will be 3 separate regions instead of 2. I'll figure out later on when I actually work on it. Yeah. I'm not going to do that right now. This is going to be the final scene, but that's a long time before I get to that. These are other maps I was working with. Some village interior maps, some interior house maps rather. Another world map. This is a section of the world map, which is just this little space piece. I was working on splitting up maps and stuff, learning how to do that. So I've done a lot and still have a lot more to do. Long way to go. But till then, this has been Z3 RPG Development, and you have a great day.